Now I've earned a new badge of honor. Yeah, I have been singled out along with Elon Musk, no less, to be made an example of in a policy document that was commissioned by the leader of the House of Commons, no less, Penny Mordaunt. And this is a document called Conspiracy Theories, a guide for members of parliament and candidates. And it was written by something I've never heard before, an NGO supposedly called the Anti-Semitism Policy Trust. Now, I read through this and it's a complete joke, to be honest. I mean, it just makes me laugh. But it is quite serious because they are putting out this document to all MPs and candidates to warn them to stay away from anybody who says anything that they think is a conspiracy theory. What is a conspiracy theory? I mean, in my view, it's something that is true that the government doesn't want you to know about, let alone think about, or even less speak about and have conversations about to other people, or put on social media so that you destroy their narratives, which are there to deceive you from knowing the truth and getting the country more into debt, more into the insanity of wokery and climate alarmism and anything else that they want going. But there we go. That's what conspiracy theory really is. But what they say in the document is conspiracy theories often claim that governments and official institutions manipulate events on behalf of an evil group of conspirators. Well, that's actually true, isn't it? Whether it's Big Pharma or the WEF, the globalists, they're always manipulating events and they're not acting in the best interest of ordinary people. So this is true, but they want you to believe, or they want the MPs to believe, that conspiracy theorists are making this all up, or who the people that are speaking the truth that they label as conspiracy theorists in order to try to discredit people who are speaking the truth and using their freedom of speech in a good way. It also says that they erode trust in democratic institutions, including financial institutions, the justice system, healthcare providers, the NHS. I mean, look at the state of that. And governments at every level, media outlets, undermining the most basic foundations of democratic rule. And it also means that people are less likely to comply with the laws and policies set by their governments. Well, sorry, you're damn right. If you impose lockdowns, if you impose tyranny, if you impose restrictions on freedom of speech, I am not going to obey those restrictions. I mean, yes, I will follow the laws as far as they make life good for people and prosperous for people and are in line with our common law, which is everything is permitted as long as it does not cause harm, loss, or damage to another living man or woman. But if you impose laws that are going to harm people and are going to get us into war, at the moment, you've got this insane drive to get us into war with Russia. I'm not going to stay silent while you take us into destruction at every level. Sorry, I'm not going to do that. I'm not sorry. Actually, I'm going to oppose this tyranny and I'm going to oppose this warmongering and all the junk that's coming from these people in the House of Commons that they say that we shouldn't be speaking about. There you go. Now, diagram one in this booklet, and we may have a slide for this, shows all the different conspiracy theories that have their own section in this pamphlet. And they mention QAnon, 15-minute cities, the New World Order, Ukraine. Well, that's not a conspiracy theory. That's actually happening. The Great Replacement, that's happening. Mass migration, climate lockdowns, global control, 5G, the Great Reset. There's even a book written about the Great Reset by Klaus Schwab. It's there for everyone to see. It's not a conspiracy theory. They've told you exactly what they want to do and exactly what their plans are. Chemtrails, COVID-19. Well, again, COVID-19, whether it existed or not, I don't know, because flu disappeared when COVID-19 came up in 2020, and then COVID-19 disappeared again. So, you make your own mind about that. But certainly the injections that came after that have caused all kinds of adverse health events and made excess deaths go above the baseline for a long sustained period of time. That's not a conspiracy theory. That is a scientific, measured, observed fact. And for them to try and smear people who talk about that is absolutely deplorable. Now, that is the headline. But all of these things are in a circle around a central conspiracy theory, which is in a different color, and that says anti-Semitism. So apparently, according to this document, it's applying that you speak about any of these other things, COVID-19, Ukraine, the Great Replacement, etc., the Great Reset, then now those are all anti-Semitic. And that this is so nonsensical, it's just laughable. But this is how these people actually think. Now, what they wrote specifically about me, I'm just going to talk about this for a little bit because it's just hilarious. It says of me, now it talks about a tweet that I put out in 2022, and it was just a fun question. It says, who do you trust more, Putin or Biden, Johnson, and Macron? 90% said Putin. Fewer than 10% said Biden, Johnson, and Macron. But this was singled out as an example of misinformation in this document. It says one former candidate for UKIP. Okay, I was in the time. They don't even mention that for the last 4 years I've been the leader of the Heritage Party. So, they're trying to make sure people don't hear about what I'm doing now. To take an example, it says, was increasingly drawn into anti-lockdown and anti-vax campaigning since 2020. 3 days after the invasion of Ukraine began, this individual, not my name, this individual, they can't even say my name, warned their followers that the mainstream media and WEF, NWO controlled regimes cannot be trusted to tell the truth about Ukraine. Yes, absolutely right. You can't trust the government and the mainstream media. They posted a poll on Twitter. I'm he. These people bang on about pronouns all the time, but they can't even get my own pronoun right. He. I'm not they. I'm not a non-binary pansexual androgyne, like probably some of you are. But there you go. That's just a little gripe there. They posted a poll on Twitter 2 weeks earlier that showed that 90% of respondents, likely drawn from their own followers, trusted Vladimir Putin over a trio of pro-Ukraine Western leaders. So you can read the report. It's hilarious. But what it does show is that these people are really worried because there are so many people whose eyes are now opened to the truth. And the misinformation and disinformation that is not being spread by people who they label and smear as conspiracy theorists, but is being spread by the governments of the collective West and the mainstream media. And they are the ones that need to be held to account. And they are the ones that need to be challenged, not us. So let's mock this report unashamedly and keep on speaking the truth.